Welcome to Unspoken Affairs. His breath was already on my neck before I could even form a word. It startled me, the way his presence filled the room before I had time to prepare myself. One hand pressed against my shoulder, not roughly, not with force, but enough to make me stay still. It wasn't dominance exactly, and it wasn't tenderness either. It was something in between, something that carried weight. My lips parted as though words might come out, but nothing did. I didn't nod. I didn't shake my head. I didn't move at all. And yet, in that silence, in that in-between space where no answer was given, they took it as an answer all the same. Before I continue, let me just ask you one thing. If you're listening to this right now, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps me more than you know, and it keeps me able to share these kinds of stories with you. Now, let me take you back into that night. The night when everything I thought I knew about trust, choice, and love began to unravel. The door creaked open behind me. It's just a subtle sound, but one that felt deafening in the hush of the room. I froze, heart hammering, my back rigid. I didn't turn my head, didn't speak. I just stayed perfectly still, as if any movement might change the outcome of what was already unfolding. My pulse beat so loudly in my ears that it drowned out the faint sounds around me. Then I heard a voice, low, steady, deliberate. And it said two simple words, "Happy birthday." But it wasn't my husband's voice. That realization alone made every nerve in my body spark alive. I was blindfolded, the fabric soft and cool against my skin, keeping the light out, keeping me trapped in darkness where sound and touch became everything. My hands rested on my lap, stiff and unmoving. I sat on the edge of the mattress, body taut, listening desperately for context, for clues. The room was hushed to hushed, as though it was waiting. I heard the faint brush of fabric against fabric, a delicate clink, the sound of glass meeting wood. Then silence again. He hadn't left. I could feel it. Not in touch, not in sound, but in the way the air seemed to hold its breath with me. But what caught me wasn't his presence, it was something else stopped the floorboard. A creak, slow and deliberate, near the doorway. My chest tightened instantly. Someone else was there. The air changed, thickened, as another presence slipped into the space. Then I heard my husband's voice, calm, deliberate. "He's here." That was all he said. He didn't explain. He didn't reassure. He simply announced it like a fact. One that I couldn't undo. I didn't move. I couldn't. The floor creaked again. Another step. Closer now. My breath grew shallow, trapped somewhere between panic and anticipation. And then, in the middle of all that silence, my husband's voice whispered again, close to my ear this time, "Don't take off the blindfold." And then he stepped aside. The air shifted. The room shifted. I could feel it, even without seeing. The presence of someone new filled the space behind me. No words at first. No touch. Just stillness. The kind of stillness that felt intentional. Charged, waiting for me to react. Then, finally, a voice broke the silence. Calm, certain, unwavering. "Happy birthday." The words themselves were simple. But the way he said them wasn't. There was something behind it, conviction, patience. The kind of tone that sounded like he had thought of this moment long before it ever happened. My breath caught. I straightened. Slightly unsure what to do, unsure where to place my hands. My body felt like it belonged to the silence more than it did to me. "You look beautiful like this," he said. The blindfold pressed snug against my skin, blurring my world into nothing but sound, presence, and the racing of my own thoughts. His tone wasn't rushed, wasn't hesitant. He sounded as if he already knew how this would play out. I didn't respond. My silence stretched long, but I could feel that even my lack of words carried meaning. "I want you to lie back," he said finally. His voice was softer now, deliberate. "Only if you choose to." Those words held me still more than anything else. "Only if you choose to." I swallowed hard, my breath heavy, but even in that moment, I realized something. Silence itself was a choice. Slowly, carefully, I leaned back. My shoulders met the mattress, my arms resting uncertainly at my sides. No one guided me. No one forced me. It was me. It's my choice. You don't have to see yet, he murmured. But I want you to know you're not alone. The words settled into me, heavy and strange. They stirred something deeper than fear, deeper than curiosity. They stirred a feeling of being seen, not just physically, but in the way I had been waiting to be seen, without speaking it aloud. The mattress shifted, slightly, just enough to know that someone else was there, close but careful. The blindfold loosened a touch, not removed. Just shifted as though the moment itself was tugging at its edges. And then light returned slowly, dim, blurred. I blinked against it, letting my eyes adjust. And when I finally focused, I saw him. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't anxious. His face carried calm, his posture steady. A man who hadn't rushed to get here, who hadn't stumbled into this moment. He looked like someone who had been waiting. I turned my head slightly, my breath caught in my throat. My husband was there too, sitting nearby, silent but fully present, watching, not interfering, just witnessing. She's steady, one of them said, though I didn't know which, and I didn't need to answer. My stillness was enough. My presence spoke for itself. The night didn't unfold with chaos. It unfolded. With tension, with patience, with intention. Every silence became louder. Every breath carried meaning. I realized then that sometimes what isn't said matters more than what is. The blindfold slid from me. But even with sight restored, felt suspended in a different kind of blindness, one where certainty no longer existed, where the only thing left was to trust or to retreat. I stayed. I let the silence keep speaking for me. And in that moment, I knew, after this night, after this choice, nothing in my life would ever be the same again. That was how it began, not with declarations, not with promises, not with explanations, but with stillness, with silence, with the weight of a single decision that I didn't even realize I was making. What followed? Well, that's harder to explain. Because it wasn't just about what happened in the room, it was about what happened inside me. For the first time in years, I felt seen. Not as a wife, not as a partner who performed the same routines every day, not as a woman defined by duty, but as something alive. And the truth is, that realization terrified me more than anything. My husband had known what he was doing when he stepped aside. He had known that by letting someone else in, he was changing everything between us. He had known that trust would be broken, but maybe in his mind, it was trust being rebuilt into something else entirely. I didn't know. All I knew was that the silence in that room had spoken louder than words, louder than vows, louder than anything I had ever confessed. To myself, when I look back now, I don't remember every detail. I remember the way my chest rose and fell as I tried to steady myself. I remember the soft press of the blindfold, the creak of the floorboards, the quiet authority of a voice that wasn't my husband's. I remember the stillness of my husband, watching, and I remember the choice not spoken, not written, but lived. That choice changed me. It changed everything.